the
He
team.
can jump on whenever he wants. Hello, and welcome to our final week in our NBA preview of our 6-6, and we'll be discussing the Atlantic Division. We've been all waiting for this moment. Well, at least two of us have, and maybe a third if I can get him on. Just give me a second on that. But this should be fun. This is the final week. It's been really fun up to this point. So I can't wait to break all this down. So bring up Boston while I try to contact Prime.
All right.
Dang, no introductions again.
Give me a second. I'm trying to talk to you. Fucking do it. Let me do this.
What's up, everybody? I'm gonna introduce us all since clearly our fearless host couldn't. I am your new host, Didge. With me, as always, is apparently Bodega Cat, aka Juwaan. Juwaan, how you doing today?
Feeling real bodega-y.
I don't like that adjective, but all right.
I like it.
And our third host out there doing who knows what else is Joel. Joel, how you doing today?
Hello, how you doing today again, everyone? Wow, that was loud.
That was very loud.
Yeah, that's me. My bad. Sorry.
I
don't know why
I
it didn't come
you.
through.
Ouch.
No,
Right,
please
so
don't say that.
In the meantime, we can talk some Celtics.
Hello, L'Oreal.
Oh shit, we got people.
Yeah, L'Oreal said hello.
I also don't know if feeling bodega is a good adjective or not.
I'm not either. It's not really a thing.
I last time I checked, I didn't ask anyone to feel bodega with me. I'm cool being bodega alone. Okay,
but does that mean you're trying to fight somebody?
Never know. It's all incumbent. Incumbent.
If it's anything like an actual bodega cat, he's just sleeping. He's sleepwalk throughout the rest of the show.
Could be anything. Never know. Could be anything.
That is fair.
Hey y'all. Hello. All right, let's talk the Celtics, right? Let's talk the defending champions. They'll be walking in.
All right. Next up.
Next team. Let's go. No, I don't.
Interesting.
But honestly, I know Juwaan is kidding, but I don't think that there's really much to talk about them. Like, the team didn't really change much. They're presumably going to be the same team that they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of, the main question is, did the rest of the division and the Eastern Conference as a whole get better where they're not going to have as much of a gap in their win-loss record as they did last year? That's really the thing. Like, is obviously they all got a year older. So it's like, is age going to hit Kristaps? Is Al Horford going to finally start looking like a 40-year-old? Like, those are the questions. And
yeah,
I don't know if you can really predict that. That's just sort of, you got to start seeing the games.
I mean, I think what we could do, Didge, and great point, just open it to conversation about the Celtics this season. Because I think you made two of the biggest points, but I wanted to go a step further. I believe this team goes as far as their point guard and their center take them. I think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum do not matter. Because remember, their gauge is not great record, playoffs. Their barometer really is finals, right?
Yeah,
and then winning another championship.
I wouldn't even say just finals. Yeah, it's that second point. It's
winning
that
a championship.
Winning. Like, I feel like they will truly feel like it's a loss if they don't repeat.
Right. So for me, I think they only go as far as Drew Holiday and Kristaps take them. I've not seen Jason Tatum play good enough defense. Jaylen Brown can't guard five players. So you look at it and you go, Kristaps, even though, I just want to put it out there, because people are going to say, well, Kristaps didn't play really in the finals. You're right. Mm-hmm. But guess what Dallas didn't have? A big man. Right. So it was nothing you needed Kristaps for outside of maybe more scoring. But Dallas already couldn't guard anyone, so it didn't matter.
To be honest, I'd argue outside of their first round, like Cleveland, we talked about it last week with Cleveland and their people outside of Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
Indiana, sure, they got Pascal Siakam, but that's really it. Like in terms, and Pascal's not that big.
Right.
And then obviously Dallas. So I would say outside of once they got past Bam, they didn't really face a big man either. That who was really there to be like, you need a presence in the middle.
Right. Everyone else had a serviceable enough big that you could put Al Horford on them, or you could put, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I think they only go as far as Drew Holiday and Kristaps. I don't think Kristaps this year, his issue will be age. I think that might be more Drew Holiday's issue. We know it's a lot of movement to play great defense. A lot of knees. Yeah, your knees got to be kneeing. So, we'll see if age starts to catch up to him. I think Kristaps is just going to be, if you're the Celtics, Kristaps I don't think is going to have to worry about all-pro or all-star game.
No.
Because I just don't see the Celtics having 3 all-stars. So it's going to be more so maybe he wants to vie for Defensive Player of the Year. But outside of that, you preserved Kristaps to the playoffs.
The only reason I said age for Kristaps is because of injuries. I mean, the man, we know for a fact, obviously, he missed a full season once. And I think outside of that full season, he's probably played more than 65 games twice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's always missing at least a significant chunk of the season. And even, I think he's only like 28, 29. But when you're consistently injured, that 28, 29 is going to start feeling like 31, 32.
Yeah, it gets heavier. You're right. So then, but it goes to what I'm saying. You just got to preserve him. Preserve him for the season. You don't put him in back-to-back. I mean, you don't need Kristaps to make the playoffs if you're Boston.
No.
Or you shouldn't. But you do need him to possibly, depending on what your road is to the East, to win a championship.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just it's all on Drew Holiday and Kristaps' shoulders. I know people are going to hear that and go, well, why not Jaylen Brown? Well, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, you know what you're going to get in the regular season.
Right. You know they're going to be, they're going to do well. They're going to kill it. I don't think the regular season, like we know Boston is likely going to be top 3 in the East.
Right.
Barring injury, whatever, all of that, we know where they're going to land. It's just what is their road in the playoffs and how far does that get them?
Right. To me, I look at the Celtics honestly the same way I looked at the Knicks last year. Brunson was all we needed to get to the playoffs, but it was once we got there that it started to become very clear. Oh no, we need help. Sure. like we need our all-star help, right? There were games where you looked at it and you're like, these are the games you need Julius, right? So you look at the Celtics and you go, there are plenty of nights, and shout out to Didge, who's been saying this for as long as I've known him. Jason Tatum disappears a lot. But luckily for him, he has the greatest sunscreen a person could have in Jaylen Brown, right? So he doesn't get burnt. Jaylen Brown is there to save him. Only problem is Jaylen Brown can't do it alone. Those are the games where you go, man, I miss Kristaps. Like another guy that can come get 20 to 25 to 30 and an extra 10 rebounds. That's when you start to really feel it. So we'll see what their road to possibly, Didge, Joel, I can say for our respective teams, we hope not, but their possible path to the finals. If it's a cakewalk again, you just put Kristaps in a hyperbolic time chamber. If it's not, you better hope you didn't burn him out in the regular season. That's really it. And Joel, school me a little bit. Should I know this rookie, or is this just like an extra body?
It's an extra body. I thought there was a chance he might be able to make the rotation, but doesn't look like he'll be in the rotation to start.
Have you heard anything from preseason about him?
That's what I mean. I haven't really seen him get a lot of minutes in preseason. So it looks like Jordan Walsh, they might give a chance into the rotation, who was their rookie last year. So in his second year, he might find some playing time in there. And obviously, they rotate big men like crazy because of Kristaps' injury and Al Horford's age. That's why they signed so many big men between Luke Cornett and Tillman and Keita. They have enough pieces they can throw in there just in case there's an injury or a mishap or some shit like that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Didge.
I was gonna say I'm actually looking at like local Celtics media. I try to do that for like the teams I don't know too much about. And they called him a flop already, and it's like,
damn.
damn.
They're
local. Their local like fan sided sites. You know how every team has like their local fan sided one.
Yeah,
they have him as the Celtics who improved their stock and 3 who flopped, and he was the first flop.
Wow, that's funny.
So they do not feel high on him. Apparently,
you probably get that a lot when you get drafted to a championship team.
Oh, sure.
So he was like what 29th,
right?
29th or 30th. You figure
he was one of the last picks in the first round.
I will say something that I thought was really interesting. I know that they're pretty much to the second apron, this team, but I did think it was really interesting that when everyone was having those Robert Williams conversations, Celtics were never brought up for that. And the only reason I say that is I don't know how much you can really depend on Al Horford. Al Horford at this point should start to verge towards maybe being your power forward off the bench, not your center. I don't know how much I want Al Horford banging with possible bigs all this season. So I'm like, you should start to push him to a position where you can kind of just sit in the corner. Right, he doesn't have to necessarily do much.
That's why they usually, when you get older, you just move up a spot, and that's why he's been playing a center more, is because he doesn't have the lateral quickness he used to.
Right.
So banging is easier than chasing someone around.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, you got to figure more forwards are probably, especially in today's NBA, more forwards are being out there running around the court than there probably are centers who are doing that.
Yeah, that's why it's like when you got a guy like Kristaps, it's a bitch because he's a stretch 5, and that's hard to guard because your bigs are usually in the paint. Right. You're like, and for Horford, he's big enough where he could do it. Now he's old. We've been saying this for 3-4 years, and when he went back to Boston, we got reinvigorated because I swear it was over after Philly. Honestly, I'm like, okay, it was done.
I'm sure he thought it was.
And then he went back to Boston and found the light, and he's like. Found the fountain of youth in Boston, and it looks like he hasn't missed a step. He's not the all-star he used to be, obviously, when he was in Atlanta and stuff.
Yeah, but you don't need him to be. That's why it works.
I mean, that's what I mean. Yeah, he's literally the best vet you can have on your team, and he's fit in fine at center for them.
I mean, luckily for the Celtics, Horford's slight regression has allowed the progression of Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Because remember, coming into the league, Jaylen Brown was a shooting guard. Tatum was a small forward.
Yeah.
But through evolution, it's allowed them to grow in other positions.
Well, they move up because they play smaller. So because of that, they move Jason Tatum up to 4, and they move Brown up to 3. But
I also think they grew into their bodies. They did.
There was a year where they did play big. I think it was like 2-3 years ago. They played bigger. And they did that for a season, and then they went back to small ball, and they won a championship. So,
because remember, there was a season where Marcus Morris was starting alongside Jason Tatum. Yeah. So I'm like, there was no Jaylen Brown there in that starting lineup. No, there was. He was the 2. Sorry, he was the 2. Yeah. I think they played Marcus at the 1.
Yeah.
Marcus at the 1, Jaylen at the 2, Tatum 3, then Morris, then I think Horford.
Yeah, Horford had been the center for a while.
Yeah, so
then he went to Philly for a while and then came back. Not even a while. I think it was 2 years, maybe.
That's where he thought his career died. He was just like,
I
don't
felt
suck.
like it was
This
over.
team just sucks. Yeah, that's when he realized that. Yeah, and he got better.
I think he got traded. No, you know what it was? He got traded to OKC, and then got traded to Boston. He never played for them.
Got you.
I remember that.
Yeah, first day there, he was just like, I can't play basketball with children.
They just ended up trading him.
They're like, no problem, buddy. We'll get you out of here.
It's just
so yeah, I think Didge made a great point. I don't think there's anything to add. I think just got to keep an eye on Derek White and Drew Holiday and Kristaps. Mostly Derek White and Drew. I think they're kind of getting up there. And Kristaps just for health. Really.
Derek White had a hell of a year last year, honestly.
No, he had a great year. That's what helped lead them to a championship.
Yeah.
I just mean Derek White's he's not super young.
No, he's 30.
Well, none of them are.
Jaylen Brown and Tatum are. They're young. Not super young, but they're young.
They're late 20s now?
They're not even in what you'd consider their prime. Most people consider your prime 30. in basketball.
That's what I mean. Yeah, they're up there, but they're not that old. They're good. They're a good age. They're
Right.
young stars.
Yeah.
They're prime aged for NBA player. They're not young anymore, and they're not old.
Right.
But
so yeah, I think we can all agree. Then you got to look out for Kristaps. That's your biggest question mark.
I would say Kristaps and Drew. I think you had it right. Those are their two oldest players.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew did say.
No, not Chris. I'm sorry. Al Horford and Drew are the two oldest, but Kristaps
Horford.
in that bottom
Every
five.
year I worry about Horford, and every year he just keeps
getting better. Well, that's because you can kind of preserve him with coming off the bench. You don't have to use him as much. But where you're gonna have to is if Kristaps starts missing games, then Al Horford has to come fill in.
Like right now. That's why they signed. Like I said, that's why they signed so many big guys, because they already have a plan for Horford to not play as many minutes, so they could preserve him. And then of course Kristaps, when he gets healthy, then they can worry about his minutes. So they got a lot of like Swiss Army knife centers out there, like Tillman and Cornette and Keita. So,
I was gonna say, yeah, Cornette you can slide in there if need be.
Because Cornette is like a poor man's Kristaps.
No, he honestly is. He honestly is, for sure. Yeah. I just always find it interesting that Cornette's not been dunked on more than he has in his career.
No sleep, man. Former Nick Luke Cornette. I'm a good guy.
No, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't look at him as a rim protector. So for me,
he can block shots. He's not a shot blocker, but he can block.
I was about to say, I've seen Luke Cornette block, and it's more when someone's shooting. I've not seen him go straight up to a dunker. I've not seen that. I've seen him block shots, but not nobody dunking on him. Swear to God, I'd look to dunk on that man every game. But all right, do we have anything else to add for Boston?
I don't.
I feel pretty good.
That should be all. I mean, no, that's Boston. They didn't really make many additions. They've kept it pretty clean. So
I was about to say, you argue they made no addition. So
they did.
Yeah.
They didn't. The additions they did were they drafted and they brought in one or two like guys just for extra depth, but nothing important.
They're like, you're just here to breathe, like soak up air. Honestly. But like we don't really care about you. So that's really it.
They kept almost everybody from last year because I think only the person they lost was Svi, and he went to Utah. And again, he was barely Mikhailiuk. He was a Knick, remember?
Oh shit! No, not till you just said that. No, completely forgot.
Yeah.
I don't know this man.
And then
I can see this man walking down the street.
Championship in Boston, and now he's in Utah. They need to spend money. He can shoot.
Makes sense.
That's what he is.
Yes, that I do remember. Yes. All right, we can move on to Brooklyn Nets. Lead us off, Joel.
The Brooklyn Nets. So this is very interesting. This is how I have it projected currently with Schroeder, Thomas, Johnson, Finney-Smith, and Claxton. I got Bojan, Day'Ron, Jalen, Zaire, and Ben coming off the bench. Even though Ben has been starting lately, but that's because Claxton's been out. If he's not, I don't know if Ben's in the starting lineup if Nick is healthy.
Shouldn't be. Only way Ben should make the way into the starting lineup is if you start having the same issues with Dennis Schroeder that the last 17 teams did. So when that kicks in, just go in there and be the facilitator.
Oh, put him in at point?
Yeah. I mean, they've been playing him all over recently. I mean, I don't know what fuck Ben, but just go play at this point with him.
Yeah, seriously. I'm tired of seeing off-season. Yeah. Oh, Ben's been in the lab, y'all. He might have it this year, and he do the same thing every year. Like it's either play or never show me those been in the lab tweets again.
I mean,
I don't disagree.
Every year they start with that because they got to build up his stock. And so it starts out like last year started okay, and then he got hurt again. And you're like, oh, well, that was fast. That was quick. Anyway, the key losses for Brooklyn were Mikal Bridges. Obviously, that was a huge loss and very unexpected loss. We can get that a little bit later. Dennis Smith Jr. and Lonnie Walker. Actually, Lonnie Walker is on the Boston Celtics, but he's in one of those camp things. I don't know if he's going to actually make the team, unfortunately, but Lonnie is a pretty good player, so I'm a little surprised. But we'll see. This is the final week of cuts, so we'll find out. And then, of course, key additions. They brought in Bojan and the Mikal trade, and they traded for Zaire, which I was not expecting. Memphis trading Zaire, so I thought it was actually a pretty good addition for them. So This is what the Nets team looks like. It's very sporadic. I kind of like some of their pieces, honestly. I do like Cam Thomas. I do like Jalen Wilson. Again, I do like Zaire, even though he's been injury prone. Nick Claxton's actually a really good big man. Dorian Finney-Smith is very versatile. Honestly, he'd fit on any team, Dorian Finney-Smith. Anybody would want that guy. Cam Johnson has been a little iffy for me lately, but the guy's a sniper. And Dennis Schroeder, I don't know. He just can't seem to keep a job. I think his best fit is as a backup point guard somewhere, but we'll see. I have no doubt that's probably where he'll end up being by the end of the season. But as of right now, I think he's just starting point guard at Brooklyn. Unfortunately for Brooklyn, this will probably not be another good year. And so
it's happening, Joel. It's happening.
Yeah, slowly.
Look at the second part of Jamie. It's happening. It's happening. Yeah, we love it, Jamie. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We do. And she lives in Brooklyn, so that does not matter.
Jamie, there's only one team in New York.
Yeah. I love it because she did it while I was talking Brooklyn Nets.
Even then, I don't even know what a Brooklyn Net is. Knicks all day. Man. Let's go.
That was my first words there when she moved there. I'm like, don't you ever convert to that team.
You did. You had a press conference, a jersey, and everything. You did.
Go. Yeah,
we did.
We finished the conversion.
The Hornets are what they are. We would hope she still don't root for them.
If you have options, I mean,
yeah. If you had to pick the Hornets or any other team, there are very few teams you're gonna choose. The Hornets over.
Some people choose the Hornets for the colors alone.
I'm gonna say this, Didge. Not that you care at all. But I will say, the Hornets played the Knicks backups and lost. I'm going to say that again. They're backups. Like, not one starter for the Knicks played. Not one.
That sounds like the Hornets.
They put up a fight a couple days ago. I don't know what happened yesterday. I'm like, okay.
Ain't my fault your team sucked.
They felt offended.
Now, you don't got to talk about the Hornets anymore. You're on the greener pastures.
Let's go. That's what I love to hear. Let's go.
Anyway, what do you guys think about Brooklyn? Let's start with Didge.
He thought about it like it wasn't like
yeah, there's only two of us. How many options did you have?
Still a decision needs to be
made. They were 11th last year? I don't see this team being much better than they were last year, to be honest. Like, I don't think there's
a revelation somewhere in there.
Seriously, they're not a play-in. Like, we for sure know they're not a playoff team. So we can take 1 through 6 out.
Oh, yes. 1 through 6.
Now,
yes.
7 through 10 is sort of that, like, because they were 11th last year. I don't think they were even close to being 10 and like getting that play-in. I don't know what their record was. I think they won 32 games. I don't know how many Chicago won, but
it was enough to put them in that conversation for play-in. I remember that.
Well, Chicago made the play-in.
Oh, okay.
Chicago was 10th.
Okay, got you.
And I don't think that this team got any better. Honestly, like their key losses aren't super huge for this team because they didn't play well for this team together. And I don't think any of their additions are going to make their biggest thing is they have a lot of draft picks. That's the one thing I wanted to get to. They have
because of the
go
trade.
Back to it.
Trade. They took all.
I was about to say just from the Knicks, they got a shit ton of trade. Trade
even outside of that trade, they had for 2025 they have 4 draft picks, 4 first-round picks. So if they're saying that we want to get into the playoffs, which I feel like every team should be at least wanting to, they need to be buying day one. Like, I need to hear a trade for Brooklyn tomorrow if we're talking playoffs. Well, if we're talking play-in, to be honest. Because I think there are for sure at least 10 teams better than them in the East as they stand right now.
This is like the tank for Cooper Flag year, so I doubt it.
Do you think they're tanking?
I don't know if they're going to do that first, but look at this team. What are they doing?
They're in a weird place where I don't think that they're bad enough to tank.
I think they can resolve that with a couple adjustments here.
I'm being serious though. Like, I don't think they're not as bad as Washington. If
it's a lottery though, remember
it is a lottery.
You don't have to be the worst team.
That's true. And yeah, I don't think they're gonna make the play in. So yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe they stick where they are and get 4 shots at it. Maybe they'll hope. None of their draft picks are likely. None of their other draft picks are likely going to be in the lottery, so they'd have to hope their own.
Right.
Because they're either going to get OKC, Houston, or Phoenix. There's like a bunch of stuff going around for that one.
Right.
Obviously, they'll get the Knicks, and then they'll get the Bucks, and it's protected 1 through 4. So it's literally their pick.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, again, that's what they need to do. Draft and trade right now.
I was going to say trade, try to make a change mid-season, but I mean, 4 picks? We're not even talking about 26 or 27.
What do you think I'm going to say? What do you think I'm going to say?
Oh, are you thinking Levine again? I mean,
the man's got to find a job. He can't stay in Chicago, Didge. He's got to go somewhere, man. Someone's got to take him. I don't see a franchise more desperate to take Zach LaVine than this one.
Zach, hopefully he got a no trade clause and he declined this one because you in the same situation.
He used his one no trade clause last year. Remember, they talked about trading him, then he went and had surgery and was done for the season. And it was
I don't know if that was a no. I don't know if that was a no trade thing though.
It was suspiciously around a trade. So like they were talking trades, and Didge he pulled the Gronkowski. He's like, well, I'm out of here. I'm done. I won't play. And they're just like, all right, well, we don't want to trade for that. Forget it. Forget it.
That's fair. I hope he don't go here because he's in the same situation.
I'm going to tell you when you're done. I'm going to tell you why I disagree. I
have nothing else to add. They're a lottery team at best as they stand right now.
I disagree because I see 2 players that can very much grow into potential stars, not superstars, but stars, and that's Cam Thomas and that's Nick Claxton. I saw that game where the Knicks pulled out. Remember that game, Joel, where Cam Thomas pulled that bullshit against Brunson and OG had to get in his face? I think a lot of people forget. I think he had 40 or 50 in that game. Like, that kid went off. And to the point that you – oh, go ahead. Say it again, Joel.
I said he could score. He's a good scorer.
Right.
Sure.
So, to your point, Didge, I think their key losses do matter. Because I think with Mikal Bridges no longer there, opens it for it to become Cam Thomas's team. And I think if you can run it around Cam Thomas and build around him, get some veterans in there. I'm not 100% on Cam Johnson. I never have been. I know he can play. I'm not trying to disrespect him at all. But I do think that's a piece you try to move when you can. But I don't love Dennis Schroeder being Cam Thomas's point guard. I think he needs as close to a legit point guard as possible. Because there is no playmaking in Cam Thomas as far as making other players better. He's just a scorer. like he's just a scorer. You know what I consider him? I believe Cam Thomas is a better version of what we thought Karis LeVert could be. But now Karis LeVert is in a situation where I think it's regressing his growth because he's now just a 6-man. So I think it's kind of reducing his ability to kind of stand out. I think Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton are your centerpieces. And I do think Ben Simmons at some point probably should be your point guard over Dennis Schroeder to be just a primary facilitator. He also helps with rebounding. Excuse me.
Ben. Yeah. I would
right. Again, that's me just throwing that out there with the slight possibility he figures out how to play basketball again.
I'm about to say, this would be a question of Ben Simmons.
Right.
The old Ben Simmons.
And Dorian Finney-Smith, I've always been a fan of. I think Dorian Finney-Smith is really, really, really good.
Yeah.
In his role. Right, exactly. So I'm not saying, Didge, this is a team you got to look out for. This is a dark horse or anything. But I do think you said they won 30-something games?
32, yeah.
32? I think this team could get 38 games this upcoming season. I think this team could get 38 games. I really do. I do believe in the coaching. I do believe in Bojan being a really good off-the-bench piece that you could potentially not work into the starting lineup, but be your closing lineup to help with spacing. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but if the big man still matters as far as all-star voting, I can see Nick Claxton getting in there. Not over Cat, not over what's his name from Miami?
Bam.
Bam, yes. But I could see like you know those exceptions, like someone gets injured or whatever and they fill it in. I can see Nick Claxton getting in like that. But I do expect a really, really good season from both Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton if they can stay healthy. So I'm only going 38. I'm not saying nothing crazy, but I think they start to progress forward this season.
So what, they had 32 last year?
32, so 6 games. I don't. They're a team full of. I'm not even saying that they don't have any.
They lost Mikal Bridges and gained 6 wins.
No. But time out. No. No, that's looking at it too plainly. I legit just heard
what you did. You basically traded Bojan for Mikal. Same team.
Let me speak to why it matters. Mikal Bridges literally came out and said, I didn't give a fuck last season. I didn't try. I didn't care. I was unhappy. So I'm like, I look at that and I go, how many of those games did you go out there and really just not try? And really just not care? Because Mikal Bridges is better than what he gave last year. He said it himself. I'm only going off what the man said himself. So for me, and we all agreed before, it was a step down year for him. It was not a great year for him.
I'm not saying.
So for me, I'm just saying it was not like Mikal Bridges was playing phenomenal, but the team was just so garbage. No, he was playing basically average.
It was because the team was garbage, though.
I know, but that's why I'm saying Mikal Bridges didn't play his best. So it wasn't like losing him was like losing your best player. He was just your name player that you lost.
No, you for sure lost your best player.
I don't know if I could say Mikal Bridges, the way he played last year and the way Cam Thomas was coming into his own last year, that I still view that as much of a loss from how Mikal played last year. Not him as an overall player, just how he played last year. That's all I'm saying. So I'm just saying I see Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton coming into their own and having a big year. And I think saying 6 more games is not as wild as saying 15, 30 more, like 6 more games. I think they could do that. I think they definitely could do that. And I can't wait to see what Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton can do.
I don't see it just because you're right. Cam Thomas, he was. But outside of him, they're just a team full of like role players.
And I think that could be just fine. Knicks were a team when Julius got hurt. They were just role players. It was Brunson and OG and role players.
Yeah, you named 2 players.
And I think Cam and Nick Claxton are the 2 players. And then everyone else just needs to be good at being whatever their role is. So that's all
I don't see it.
Okay, no problem. I'm just saying I very much believe in Cam Thomas. I think that boy can Super Bowl.
I think he's going to ball regardless.
I believe in Claxton.
Man averaged 20 last year.
He's going to ball regardless.
This year.
But you said he'll average lower?
He said more.
Oh, more, sorry. You kind of went out. I'm sorry. I think he could average around 24, 24.5. I think Cam Thomas can average. And I think if Claxton can give you 14 to 15, I think he'll be fine. I really do. I think he'll be fine. Excuse me.
That'll be his career best, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he gets 14, that's his career best.
Yeah.
14 points, you said?
Mm-hmm. And how many Didge, if you can real quick, if you can, I'm sorry I put you on the spot. How much points did Bojan average last year?
Give me 1 second.
Because I'm trying to see if I want him to be my 6th man.
Bojan was...
Just an overall. You don't have to go by team. Just an overall if it gives it to you.
No, it has to. I just got to scroll down.
Because in Detroit, he was averaging 20.
Yeah, he was averaging 20 in Detroit, 10 in New York.
10 in New York, I don't count because the role was extremely reduced.
Well, then 20. Because, it was either New York
or Detroit.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle. So maybe 15.
15 is what they put his year average at because he played about the same amount. He played about the same amount of games for both teams.
Perfect. So that's where I have him. I like that. I could see that being around that. That's not bad for coming off your bench. Their biggest problem that we didn't really talk much about, that is their real big problem. I guess you guys didn't talk about it much because you guys are kind of just like, just take and get over with. But their bench is their biggest issue.
I said make some trades. I didn't say tank.
Oh, okay, thank you, Didge.
They should take.
I don't look at this team the same way I look at Chicago. I don't look at this team the same way I do.
Probably has a better team though.
Chicago has a way better team, but the problem is with a better team than the better team you have, you still couldn't do shit. You didn't get better. You didn't get better at all.
I'm not saying they did. They got worse, just like Brooklyn got worse, in my opinion.
No, but here's the bigger difference for me. Cam Thomas is not an injury waiting to happen like Zach LaVine is.
I'm not disagreeing.
So you can at least bet on Cam Thomas will be there, right? So now it's the idea of can Cam Thomas grow? Zach LaVine is at the height. Zach LaVine, I don't think, will ever be better than what he is now. Cam Thomas is just getting into that ability to grow.
Exactly what Chicago.
Cam Thomas missed 15 games last year.
How many did Ben? Not Ben. Sorry. How many did Zach miss?
We know Zach LaVine missed a lot of games, but I'm saying Cam Thomas hasn't played more than 67 games in his career. And granted, it's a short career.
I was going to say he's only been 2 years, right?
3.
Okay. Yeah.
But that 67 games was in his first year. Then it's went down ever since.
How many did he play last year?
He 66, but he missed 57 the year before. So to your point of you're not going to be missing games, he's missing a chunk of the season every year that he's played so far.
Wait, hold on. He missed 50-something games, or
no,
he only played 50-something?
He played 50-something games.
Last year?
The year before.
Oh, okay.
So it was 67, 57, 66. So he's at least missed 10 games every year.
Okay. 10 games to me is not a big deal when you look at how a lot of people play basketball today. I'm just saying a lot of people sit their players. A lot of people sit their players.
Brooklyn wasn't in the mode they were being able to sit. They weren't. You sit.
They weren't
getting them ready for playoffs.
They
Brooklyn
weren't. But I think
the playoffs.
I think last year he had a bad injury though. I think last year he had a bad injury.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah, but I don't think it's an ongoing thing. To go from 82 to 67, you said, or 64.
66.
I don't think that's that horrible of a drop off. Yeah, I don't think
I'm not saying that he's injury prone or anything. I'm just saying you can't guarantee if somebody's missing at least 15 games a year, you're not guaranteeing that they're there.
You're right, but we don't look at Cam Thomas and Zach LaVine the same way when it comes to injuries.
There are a lot of players who have less games injured and they get caught injury prone. So I can't call a number of games being that because there are a number of players.
I think Zach is just injury prone based off of he's just always injured. Every time I look, Zach LaVine's injured. And it's like, bro, what is it now? Like what? Like what? He's not now, don't get me wrong. He ain't Embiid and those kind of guys, but Zach LaVine, it just seems like he's always injured. Maybe it's not the case, but it just seems like it.
You're doing a lot for a guy you're trying to get traded to half the league.
Oh, no.
You're not selling them well.
My main reason is to get him out of there. Just get out of there. Get out of Chicago. It's sinking. Get out of there.
But the reason, all your complaints are the reason he's not moving.
Right. That's what I'm saying. For you to trying to get him to half the league.
No. Time out. Hey, no, time out. I'm not selling them well if I care about Chicago getting a good return. Because I can say right now, Lakers will take him. Lakers will go, yeah. Hey, look, whatever games you miss, AD will play. Whatever games he miss, you'll play. We'll find that.
You think the Lakers ain't tried?
No, I don't think that. No. I think they tried, and Chicago's asking price is too high.
It definitely is.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I'm hurting his stock because Chicago's looking at this man the way Utah looks at every player in Waterboy. It's like, we got Michael Jordan here, so you want him, we need half your team. And it's like, bro, what? You can't possibly want him that bad. Like, you just can't. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think anything can hurt his stock because they value him too high. And I'm like, I don't think you should. Like, I think you should just get what you can and move on.
That contract is sitting there if they don't move it. So
it's confusing. But look, they want to be competitive, so God bless them. Let them.
Yes.
But I'm good with Brooklyn. I just see they could be 6 games better if Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton take that step forward, which I think they will.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I like those two guys. I just don't know.
to the Sixers, I guess.
Yeah, let's go to Philly. All right, so to Philadelphia.
Shout out Cliff. That's the only person from Philadelphia I know.
Oh, that's so sad. I know. I work with so many people from Philadelphia.
Is it sad? I don't stay on the East Coast. I feel like that's
I know.
Apropos.
I literally work for a company called Philadelphia, so that's why it's like, oh, okay. So here we go. All right, so this is basically a new team.
They lost and gained a lot.
Yeah, they kept their stars and gutted the rest. Basically, Tyrese Maxey and Embiid return, of course, hopefully for their sake. At point guard and center, they brought in Kelly Oubre, George, Kelly Martin, who I'm projecting to start, but that things can change. Even though Paul George already is injured. Anyway, bench. Yeah, Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon, Andre Drummond, Gershon Yabusele, KJ Martin, Reggie Jackson, and the rookie Jared McCain, who they apparently really like. So then you have key losses. You got Nick Batum, Mo Bamba, Tobias Harris, Buddy Hield, Anthony Melton, Paul Reed. All guys played big roles, well, except Bamba on this team last year. So those are pretty big, significant losses, but they had made some major additions like Paul George, Caleb Martin, who I thought was an underrated addition, Eric Gordon, who had an off year last year, in my opinion. Andre Drummond, that was a big get for them. Gershon had a great fucking Olympics, and they signed him. Reggie, who you guys didn't even know was in the league anymore, but he was the backup point guard in Denver.
I still don't believe you.
And Jared McCain, who is a rookie, and apparently paints his nails. So that's cool.
Why you didn't consider Kelly Oubre a star that they kept?
Wait, no, Didge, that is not the question you asked him. Why did you put that in there? Like it was a stat line, Joel.
It's not in there. I just added that.
This man said it like in his highlight reel and showed him doing laps and painting his nails.
I mean, if you watched the draft, they kind of did.
He does TikTok videos and paints his nails. That stuck out to me.
That was definitely how they talked about it in the draft. I think that's why I didn't register with.
I'm like, that's exactly what they showed us. So
right.
Kelly Oubre was on team last year. That's why
No, but I'm saying when you said they're stars that they kept,
I said stars.
I wanted to know why you didn't.
Kelly Oubre's not a star. You
don't think he's a star for this team?
A star? No, he's a starter.
A star? What?
What? Now look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a league star, but you know how certain Bucks star or like Knicks star.
Oh no, wait. You know what? I take that back. I'm sorry. Let me take my laugh back. No. Didge is making a point. You could argue at any point last season, DiVincenzo and Josh Hart were stars for that Knicks team. They're not stars league-wide, but they're stars for that team.
But that's what I mean. That's all I was just curious about that.
Yeah, I get you. I'm sorry. I get you.
But what I meant was all stars.
Oh, okay. Well, hell no, he's not an all-star. Yeah, of course.
Anybody arguing that? Yeah, that's
for sure. All right.
Yeah, that's why I didn't add him to additions because he's not an addition. He was there last year.
Oh no, I knew that part. I was just curious about why you didn't list him under the stars for the team.
Because he's
he's not an all-star.
He was a nice addition to the team. Was very good defensively. Could shoot it. He's athletic. Can play all like shooting guard, small forward, power forward. You can put him all over the place.
He had moments.
That's why he moves around so much because he's always going to get a job because he's effective. But for some reason he can't. For some reason he just can't find like a home. So maybe it's Philly.
I will say, Didge, my argument to you is if he's a star for the team, I'd like to know what Kelly Oubre does well.
Jesus. He had moments for them. I mean, granted, I obviously only saw a handful of games. You guys obviously played them more than we played, and then I only saw him outside of that in the playoffs. He gave them sparks when they needed. They weren't great sparks, but he was enough where I felt like he was there holding his own.
Yeah.
I will say Kelly Oubre is so average. After they lost to the Knicks, Joel Embiid went to his management and said, "Hey, look at this. Look at this shit. Give me something, dog. Something." And then that's how you got Joel's key additions. That's exactly how you got it.
I feel it was that bad. They wouldn't have brought him back.
That's what I was just about to say. Like they got rid of 70% of this team.
I do think the main reason you kept him is that he was better than Tobias Harris, but that bar is so fucking low.
It's much cheaper than Tobias Harris.
I'm like,
that's also true.
I'm like, essentially you're telling him that he showed up every day. That's what you're telling Kelly Oubre. You just showed up, but you did something. That's better than Tobias, so you get to stay.
I mean, he got defensive assignments, the hardest assignments on offense. So
Yeah,
he got the hardest assignments on defense too. That man, between that man and Nicholas Batum, they were asked to guard Jalen Brunson. Now I will tell
they
you,
were switching a lot. Yeah.
Brunson almost averaged 40 on both of them, so it didn't help. But it's a tall order, very tall order they were asked. So God bless him.
Yeah, I mean, they made him. I mean, he was a starter for a reason. That's what I said. But yeah, that's what Philly looks like right now. Do you have anything more to say, Didge, on the Philadelphia 76ers?
No, I mean, I think it's very apropos that Paul George is already hurt.
Yep.
I know he doesn't have a timetable to return, and I think that's kind of just going to be their season this year. Mm-hmm. If they're healthy and if they can get and stay healthy, this is a really good team, like on paper. But I mean, your two best players are, well, maybe two of three best players, because you can argue between Maxey and Paul George.
Yeah. I put Maxey over Paul George. Yeah, at this point. Just
because of age at this point.
Yeah, and health. I can understand that. Interesting.
Oh my God! She probably loves the same way that Trayvon loves.
Yeah, that's not a basketball take. That's a basketball take, but we'll accept it. We'll accept it.
But
we're working with her on that.
But no, you're two of, like I said, two of your three best players, and we'll call it two of three. Like I said, since you guys are both putting Maxey over him, I don't really care either one way or the other. No. But they're both very injury prone. Like they're all-stars when they're playing, but that when they're playing is very key.
Yeah.
And so I think that's all you really got to say about Philadelphia is, are they going to be healthy?
Good question. I mean, that's a lot. That's most teams, but yeah.
No, but you're right.
No,
that's every team.
I don't like when people say that. Because yes, injuries happen around the league, but there are certain players that it happens to religiously. And that is how this team is set up.
You're paying those two players $100 million combined this year.
Right.
And they might miss 20 games each.
And one of them might not even be healthy for the playoffs.
That's almost a guarantee at this point.
I mean, so that's why I say I can't really say every team, because you look at Boston, you're like, I didn't really see any injuries. Bulls, I didn't really see any injuries. Dallas, I didn't really see any injuries. So it's like, it's not a league-wide problem. It seems to be a player-wide problem. And it's very specific players. And it does sometimes tend to be big men.
Yeah. Right now, especially the Sixers, it's Embiid and George.
Right.
Around the league, you can name probably a couple of them. They're top of your head.
Right.
Always. You just name.
I don't think you can name as many superstars that are this injury prone.
Again, you're paying both of them combined $100 million just this year.
I'm with you. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. It's just, will they be there to earn that $100 million?
Right. For me, to me, this team doesn't have any excuses. I don't care about injuries. I'm sorry. I watched Joel Embiid, quote unquote, play on one leg last year in the playoffs, but he was averaging like 30. So I'm like, Joel Embiid's not your problem. Your problem was he had no help. Actually, was not consistent. He had a couple good games, great games. If you want to throw one of them in there, he was not consistent the whole series. That was the problem. And then when you went, okay, Tyrese Maxey went off for 30, Embiid went off for 25. What'd you do, Tobias Harris? It was like that. What's that meme? It's like, I did my best. I didn't do shit. That was Tobias Harris. And that was possibly your third best player. So now that you've rectified that, with Caleb Martin is extremely serviceable. Paul George, if healthy, is a walking 15 to 20. Right, exactly. So for me, I think you've eliminated any excuse. I don't even think the injury excuse matters. If Joel Embiid is playing and these guys are playing alongside him, I don't care if you're telling me Paul George had to play the whole series with 8 broken fingers, no toenails, and one eye. He was playing. He was playing. So for me, it counts. So for me, I believe all this team did was make it to where there are no more excuses. If Joel Embiid goes out there, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please do.
I wanted to push back on the one thing about Maxey. He played well, except Game 6. Game 6, I think everybody just remembers Game 6.
No, I'm talking more so he did not make an impact throughout that series the way he did in a couple of games.
Okay.
That one game, remember where Joel Mitch fouled him on that fucking Hail Mary 3-pointer?
Yeah.
Like that game, Tyrese Maxey was a Super Saiyan.
Well,
I think Didge, by no means do I mean he ever played bad. It just wasn't consistent. Like Joel Embiid needed you to stand out in every single game. I don't think he did. I think there were games he did, but I don't think you can say it was consistently throughout the entire series.
He had up and down games too.
Right.
There were times he was just like shit until like the fourth quarter, or he was good until the fourth quarter. Look back, reversed one game.
Yeah, that's fair.
So again, I'm glad you said that because I do want to clear that up. Not played bad. Consistency sometimes could mean two different things. So.
Yeah, because I was going to say he definitely overall played good, but he disappeared at the wrong moments.
Right.
Yeah. Eventually they just got outplayed. That's really what it came down to.
Yeah, that's really what it was. All right, so I mean, I look at this bench. The bench could be better as long as you start Reggie over Kyle Lowry. If Reggie is even still in the league, I don't trust Joel. I don't dislike this, and they got better switching out Mo Bamba for Andre Drummond. That's going to help a lot.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I stand on what I said. I believe that this comes down to the Sixers have put themselves in a position. There's no excuses. This Sixer team, you know what it reminds me of, Didge? This Sixer team reminds me of the Houston Rockets. That year they had CP and James Harden.
Oh yeah.
That team was ready to make a finals push. Problem is, lost CP, lost the series. Right? So to me, I believe that.
By the way, Reggie Jackson, by the way, not only played last year, but played every game.
Yeah, well, tell you what, he made not one difference to me. Like, I could have been watching that man and wouldn't have noticed him.
I think we just don't watch Denver.
That is 100% true.
And
the crazier part is, Didge, I watched the two games the Knicks played them and still don't remember Reggie Jackson.
He averaged 22 minutes a game.
Even worse.
Played a significant portion.
Yeah, don't even remember. I'm still thinking Joel's lying. But
important.
That is what I compare the Sixers to, and that is how I can see the Sixers season ending. I can see it to where it possibly is either going to fall all on Joel Embiid or all on Paul George, and I don't think they're built to sustain success if that's how that goes.
Yeah,
if you don't have all three, I think this team is screwed.
That's fair. This is a team again that I feel like is a shoo-in. They're going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. The probably even top 5 seed.
Yeah. Whenever I say a team's going to make the playoffs, I always mean top 6. That's why I've held those to those. That's what I mean. Like they're going to make the playoffs. How far they go beyond that?
This division has 3 of the top 6 easily.
yeah, 100%. Yep.
You said this division has 3 of the top 6?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Celtics, Knicks, and Boston.
Sixers.
Say that again. Hold on. Just repeat that exact sentence one more time.
What, me?
Yeah.
Celtics, Knicks, and Sixers?
That's not what you said the first time.
What did I say the first time?
You said Celtics, Knicks, and Boston.
Oh, sorry. I'm like, what did I say wrong? Okay, I get you.
But no, yeah, you're right. This team does that. I guess that quickly I forgot what teams are all in this division.
You just went over 3 of them. But yeah.
That's the crazy.
It's because Didge's mind is always the Milwaukee Bucks. Always.
Oh man. Okay.
Other teams exist.
Wait a minute though. Nah, hold up. They might make play-in.
Who?
Sixers? No.
Sixers only make play-in if you tell me Paul George can't play this year. Even then, just Maxey and Embiid was enough to get him top 5.
It's true.
Well, the only reason I say that is because we said 2 weeks ago that Orlando and Miami make it from their division. Mm-hmm. We said Milwaukee and
let's backtrack a little bit. I think outside of Joel, I think me and you were very much like we could see Miami from either 1 to 8. So
that is fair. Like, but when Joel brought it up, we were like, all right, yeah, sure. Honestly,
because we could see them anywhere. It's a team that could be really good or really average. So, I mean, I don't really know where to gauge them. I don't know.
I think you got 3 from the Atlantic, 3 from the Central, and 2 from the Southeast. That's how I look at it.
But I'm saying the top 6 to make the play, like not
The
playing.
top 6, I have Boston, New York, Philly. I got, I guess, Milwaukee, Indiana.
I guess I'm out, y'all.
He said that as a friend. He didn't even say that confidently. He said,
Right.
Indiana, Cleveland, right? I mean, and then it's Orlando. And then you have like Miami and the rest. And then the play-in teams after Miami. That's like.
I'll say this, Didge, to your point, it might just be better that we refrain from that.
Yeah, because we're going to start getting ourselves confused.
Well,
We'll
just because
we'll just keep top 8 for playoffs.
Well, I was going to say, just because, Didge, if we're being honest, all the teams we just named are all competitive enough to be in the top 6. It just, will they? Will they?
Fair. That's fair.
So I think for us, I think this is what we should do. We believe our teams will be in the top 6.
I think we just think they're playoff teams. How they get in, we think they're playoff.
Which one is 6. Right. I wasn't going in order. I was just picking out this.
No, I know.
I think honestly, the only thing we can almost for sure and say, barring injuries, is Boston is in there, Milwaukee is in there, Knicks are in there. Everything else, who cares? There we go.
Onwards to
Boston's a team to beat, and as for friendship's sake, both Milwaukee and the Knicks are in there. There we go.
All right, I guess onward to the Raptors are next, right? Because somehow we got out of alphabetical order very quickly.
I don't know why you got to bring it up. No one's paying attention.
No one cares, Didge. Stop hating. Don't let your hate show. Move on.
I'm just saying.
Green is an ugly color.
green is a very beautiful color. You see those Milwaukee Bucks uniform?
Not on your eyes. I see the green in your eyes.
Go ahead, Joe.
Anyway, Toronto, a team, rebuilding team, I would say. My projected starters for them are Manu Quickly, Grady Dick, R.J. Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl. Their bench is made up of Kelly Olynyk, Bruce Brown, Davion Mitchell,
Jakob Poeltl,
Agbaji.
Yeah.
What about Poeltl?
I did not pronounce his last name.
Pronounce his name. I'm like, yeah.
Chris Boucher. Agbaji. Key losses: Gary Trent Jr., Jalen McDaniels, Jordan Mora, and of course, key addition Davion Mitchell. So I like what they have. I don't know how far it's going to take them. Maybe play in. Maybe they can fight for a play-in spot. Because I love Quick and RJ. I still have a soft spot for Quick and RJ. I'm not gonna lie. Scotty Barnes is really good. Jakob's a solid big. He's not a star by any means, but he does his job. Grady Dick, we'll see. It's second year. And now he's a starter, so maybe he'll get a better chance to get more times, more shots up. They got a decent bench. I like Olynyk and Bruce Brown coming off the bench. Mitchell's a defensive point guard. I like him too. Agbaji, I don't know much about. Boucher, I liked him. For some reason, he was kind of in and out of the rotation last year, even though he's been getting more minutes in the preseason. Honestly, their biggest loss is Gary Trent. That was their starting shooting guard last year, and now he's in Milwaukee. And their biggest addition for me is Davion because he's actually going to be in the rotation. That's no one else they got. They drafted, but I don't know if they'll get minutes, not real minutes. So they're kind of like one of those, to me, a bubble playing team. So, Juwaan, how do you feel about the Toronto Raptors?
I do think they're probably my leading candidate for the play-in team. They're the first team I think of when I think play-in team. But look, I think that's going to depend on one thing. I think that trade is probably going to hurt them a little bit for two reasons. One, everyone kept saying Scotty Barnes is a future star. But his problem was he was being outshadowed by OG Anunoby and then Siakam. Van Vliet, right. So as you started getting rid of them, Quickly is not a threat to Scotty Barnes because I think Quickly has like a cap for what he can be. And I think we've seen flashes of it. I don't think he necessarily exceeds that, becomes like an all-star. If he does, God bless you. He has the talent to. I just don't know if he can. The problem is going to be between RJ and Scotty. because RJ's problem in New York was Julius Randle. I don't see that changing coming to play next to Scotty Barnes. Same thing for Scotty Barnes. So for me, I don't see how that works. I watched a couple of Raptors games to show some support to RJ. I didn't really like the fluidity of it, but I thought it was mid-season. Not everyone can gel right away. Give them an off-season, see how they look. So I'm going to watch some Raptor games this season for sure. But I can tell you this. The sky's the limit if Scotty Barnes can become an all-star. Scotty Barnes can become an all-star, like Charles Barkley and all those guys keep talking about him being. An actual all-star. Yeah, an actual all-star.
He was an all-star last year, but he was a reserve.
Right. Well, you know what? No. Let me take that back. However you become an all-star, you're an all-star to me.
Yeah, he's an all-star already.
Well, then he already was.
Then my apologies. If his numbers can start to grow.
Yeah,
only reason I say that is because if you get in, even if it's like an injury or anything, that's the league's way of saying you were comparable. Right,
yeah,
you were comparable, and because you weren't necessarily better than them, you didn't get in, but now that they're out, you can get in. So it wasn't like he was trash, and they were just like, I guess, Scotty Barnes, So that's why I don't want to take it away from him. So I'm sorry. And because he got in that way, it's why I forgot. But no, if his numbers can grow, and he can grow into being a voted-in all-star, because that means you're at the big boys table, then I think this team can easily be better than Miami. So wherever you view Miami, I think this team, if Scotty Barnes can grow into that, I think you can look at them as just as good, if not a little better than Miami. I think they have better skill players, Didge. I do. I don't see Emmanuel Quickly as inconsistent as what's his name? Hero. I think RJ Barrett at his best could be a poor man's Jimmy Butler. I think he could be ferocious on defense and a legit scorer, just not someone you can depend to averaging 30 during the season.
Fair.
RJ can have moments where you're just like, God damn, RJ's going off. It's like, yeah, no, he can do that, but don't depend on that all year. So I do think this team goes as far as Quickly and Scotty Barnes can take them. So here's to hoping Scotty Barnes has that step up this year that apparently he's been held back from.
Fair.
Interesting.
It's been so many people's takes. So.
I like the backup of the team. We'll see.
On paper, this team looks better than last year. I thought they looked better than they did last year. That Miami take is interesting because one, they don't have the size. Playing Scotty Barnes at 4, like obviously I know these are just your projected. The man is 6'7". Like
taller. It says 6'7".
That's what he's listed as. Because he played shooting guard for them.
I know, but he shouldn't have been playing shooting.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't in their small.
I have him listed at 6'9". At least that's the last time I checked. He was 6'9".
They have him listed at 6'7".
Where?
I'm looking at it on Basketball Reference. Let me see. Does ESPN have it differently?
That's the problem. Sometimes Basketball Reference and NBA.com have different. I don't know why. It's so stupid. I wish it was all true. Why it's different is beyond me.
ESPN also has him at 6'7".
He's taller than that. I know because he's definitely taller than RJ, and RJ 6'6".
Sevens is taller than 6'6", but no, okay, that's
an inch.
I haven't seen them side by side, so I don't know how close they are. But I know he can't. I know he played.
I'm sorry, Didge. No, I was just gonna say, I watching Scotty Barnes a little bit in those few games I watched once Quickly and RJ went there. He plays. Let me make sure I'm using my verbiage correct, so I don't sound crazy. He plays big, not he plays as a big, but he plays big. So, albeit I don't think that should be his natural position. Maybe I think he plays well into it.
I thought he was. I thought he was like their. I thought he was their 3. Which I get wanting to get him and RJ Barrett on the court at the same time. One of them was going to have to play a 4
out of position, right?
Yeah. So I fully understand. My point wasn't even that. My point was that I feel like when it comes down to it, having him at a 4 is going to be a defensive liability because he's small, and I think maybe that's where it's coming. Like I said. On paper, this team should be much better than they are, like how they played last year.
Can I push back on that real quick? Because I'm thinking Giannis plays the 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Giannis plays the 4. Tatum plays the 4. Cat plays the 4, even though he'll be playing 5 this year. Bam plays the 4, even though most times he plays 5.
He always plays the 5.
Yeah, he always plays the 5. Sorry, always plays the 5. I'm just looking around, Didge, and I'm like, to me, I'm like, putting him at the 4 isn't that bad. You look at it and you're like, Scotty Barnes can play Jason Tatum. Scotty Barnes can play OG Anunoby.
I was saying, we play
There's no one that's stopping Giannis, no matter what your size is. So that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, Giannis is disadvantaged all the time.
Right, all the time. So I'm just like, I don't see many 4s that I'm like think about it. I think, doesn't Paolo Banchero play the 4?
Let me double check.
I'm like, here's my thing, Didge. Here's why I think it's best for Scotty Barnes to be the 4. I believe Scotty Barnes
6'10", by the way.
Okay. Joel's gonna disagree with me, but I believe Scotty Barnes' best asset is his defense over his offense. So to me, Scotty Barnes should be taking those 4s as a challenge and stepping up to the plate. Again, Giannis is just the outlier. No one stopped Giannis at any height. So that's the 1 4 you can't really count against them. But all the other 4s, I don't really see anyone that I look at and I'm like, he's gonna cook you. You know what I'm saying?
I guess it's also tough because in today's league, obviously a lot of 4s are stretch. Like they're going out there running.
More than looking the bag.
No one says a thing about Caleb Martin playing power forward. He's 6'5".
And that always confuses me. Because I was just playing 2K.
I was
just playing 2K. I had Cat at the 4, and when I passed it, I'm like, Caleb Martin? Oh, I'm about to cook this dude. Like, what? That's crazy.
But that's what Miami did.
I know, and that's why Jules was cooking them. That's why when Jules was during the regular season was cooking Miami. So I'll just say this, Didge. I think size at the 4 today doesn't matter unless your 4 is a back down guy, and that's why I said Giannis is the one you just don't count. Giannis is the one you don't.
Giannis is like almost 7 foot.
Yeah, Giannis is. I think he's listed at 7.
I was gonna say,
but I'm saying Giannis might be one of the last 4s that back down ever.
Giannis
into this league
is a 5. He's gonna be a center one day. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
Your future is moving away from Brook Lopez and bringing in a stretch 4 or a 3 where you can.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. The shooting guard, small forward, power forward situation here is just interesting to me.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I feel like they're the same position.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I just feel like your small forward and power forward are playing a position up than they should be. And I get it. Grady Dick probably should be a starter this year, but they probably don't have another. Like you're not starting Kelly Olynyk, and I think that's probably their. I don't know much about.
You could.
He's not a starter. He's not.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could.
You think so?
Yeah, you could start Kelly Olynyk. I would say let that be your last resort, but you definitely could start him for sure.
I don't
definitely
know
good.
You could doesn't mean you should. I guess.
I really think Toronto does it because of defensive reasons.
Okay.
I think they also do it because if you're gonna put RJ anywhere, it should be at the small forward where he can be a natural slasher. At the 2, you're expecting him to shoot. Man ain't gonna shoot efficiently enough for you to put him at the 2. So you put him at the 3 where he can naturally slash better.
Scotty Barnes, his rookie year, played the 2.
But remember, that was all out of position. You weren't benching OG and you weren't benching Pascal Siakam. So you had to play him out of position. But we all knew that wasn't his proper position.
Yeah, I think obviously you got 2 players who they're both should be a 3. So it's tough. That's what I said. Like that, I think that 2 through 4 situation is just always going to be weird to me. But I know there's probably not much you can do. But either way, getting back to the topic at hand, I do think on paper this team should be better than what their record showed last year.
Agreed.
And my prediction is that maybe it just needed like an off season to sort of gel together, and that they, like Juwaan said, I could see them for sure being in that play-in range to fight for a playoff spot.
For sure.
Yeah, I just look at them like whatever you view Miami as. I think this team could be as good, if not slightly better than Miami.
I don't think that they're better than Miami. That was the part that also just threw me. Like,
I think they can be.
If you guys heard that, sorry, that was my dryer going off.
I thought that was your doorbell.
No, my well, I don't know why my dryer makes that noise when it goes off. It definitely throws me off every time. But yeah, I don't think that they're as good as Miami because I feel like Bam's eating on Jakob. Like,
oh no! You're talking head to head. I'm saying I think what they do in the course of it.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Fair. Okay. That's different. I was going to say this team beating Miami, I don't see it.
This team is beating Miami. Miami's got a whole slew of problems to worry about.
If they lose to Toronto, they got to break it up.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they definitely do.
You got to sell it and Pat's got to retire.
That's like, Jimmy, you got to rethink this thing.
Yeah, Jimmy, you gotta go. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Jimmy, didn't you want to go back to Philly, right? Didn't you want to finish in Philly? You got to get out of here. You got to go. You got to go, buddy. Sorry, you cannot stay here. All right. So, I think we're good here, right?
Yeah, I don't, Joel, do you have anything to add?
No, I was gonna give you the stats, but I guess we're past it at this point. So
Joel just wants to see his kids do better.
Wait, the stats for who?
I was gonna give you Scotty's stats for last year. It ended.
I know he averaged like almost 20. Wasn't it like 19.8?
19.9. So he averaged almost 20 points a game, 6 assists, 8 rebounds. Yeah, it's basically 20.
Yeah.
And then RJ averaged almost 22. Again, I think these are just his Toronto numbers. He was only there for 30-something games. But he averaged 22 points a game.
I was going to say, are those just his Toronto numbers?
Yeah, I think those are just his Toronto numbers.
Okay. Yeah. I know a lot of times I use Basketball Reference, and they split theirs up.
They do. I get my numbers from them too. Problem is when I bring up the team, it won't give me the overall. It'll just give me the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like total RJ Barrett right here is popped up. It's 20 points a game is what he averages. 5 rebounds, 3 assists.
Yeah, he'll do the same thing this year. Yeah.
It seems like their heights are wrong though, because like you were saying that NBA.com has Scotty Barnes at 6'9". Like so they have him at 6'7". They got RJ Barrett at 6'6". I don't know for sure.
RJ Barrett is 6'6". So they got Barnes at 6'7".
They have him at 6'7". Same as ESPN.
Then they brought it down because he was 6'9" all last year.
No, they brought it down. How the fuck can you do that?
They do it. I've seen them do it.
That means, yeah.
No, I think how? Like, how you just gonna bring it back height?
When they measure him this season, I guess somebody was like, yeah, we messed up.
Hey,
I said, fuck that. You had it on file. 6'9". Keep it.
Are you forcing them to keep it if you're
goddamn right? Hell yeah. Shit. Bro, I got when my driver's license was like 5'5". I'm like, ooh, me? Okay.
You know how long they had fucking KD at like 6'9"?
They updated it on NBA.com too. It's 6'7" there now too.
They did, okay, because for the longest time KD was 6'9". I'm like, that is bullshit.
Ooh,
one time it was KD was 6'9" and Beasley was 6'10", and they're standing right next to each other. He's a whole head over him. I'm like, what are we talking about here?
That's hilarious.
I'm like, wow.
All right, let's get into this one franchise, I guess.
All right,
only one to talk about.
Who the hell are these guys?
Whoa! I didn't know we were talking about these guys today. Okay, I'm ready.
All righty. So let's do it. This is the New York Knicks franchise from New York. The only team in New York.
Hold on. Can you edit this at all?
No.
Ah, damn.
What?
We might have to put an asterisk next to Landry Shamet.
Yeah, for now.
Right.
Until it gets cut, I left him there.
We've already been talking about his replacement.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. That happened literally last night. So it's
right.
Unfortunate. Right. So let's go over it real quick. The projected starters as of right now are Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns. The bench is made up of Deuce McBride, Mitchell Robinson eventually, Precious Achua, Jericho Sims, Campaign, and maybe Landry Shamet.
Maybe?
Key losses, obviously Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, Isaiah Hartenstein, those three being the biggest losses. Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks. did play, and they were. I mean, especially Bojan, he was very useful for most of the second half of the season. And then Alec Brooks had like 3 games at the end of Indiana where he actually fucking decided to play basketball again really well. Well, this has. No, it just they made the most moves, bro. All right, that's a lot of player movement. Key additions: Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, campaign, Landry Shamet. Obviously, Landry Shamet being a question mark, but those are the biggest additions for them. Cat and Mikal being the biggest and unexpected moves this summer. What a fucking summer it was for the New York Knicks. I mean, let's put it that way. As fans of the team, I've never in my mind would have expected to see Mikal Bridges and Cat on my team at the end of it.
You got hate from a fan, Joel.
No, this is not. I put no extra effort. This is what happened.
All right, let me go first because you guys are gonna spend 30 minutes.
I added no rookies at all. Do you see rookies anywhere? We have 4. None of them.
Let me go first because you guys are going to sit here. You guys had a podcast already about this, and I know you're still gonna rehash everything on that one. So I'll go ahead and get it out of the way.
We gave you my plenty of time in Milwaukee, brother. We gave you plenty of time.
Yeah, and you know what? You guys went first because of that. So let me go ahead get my measly thoughts out of the way. I don't have much to say on the Knicks because I knew you guys are gonna have everything to say. They're gonna be pretty good. Obviously, they got better than last year. The one question mark I do have for them is Karl Anthony Towns because he does disappear in the playoffs. I really hope that he doesn't do that for you guys. You are lucky in that the team around him is probably better than the team around him in Minnesota because in Minnesota, outside of him, they were only focusing on Ant. And they knew, well, Carl's not showing up. Let's double Ant. Who else is going to stop us? They probably can't do that here against you guys. Have fun. I have nothing else. Really.
It's over.
I'll add to that, Didge, by saying I think Milwaukee's problem with Karl Anthony Towns these last couple of years, outside of him just not showing up. I said Minnesota.
You didn't.
Who did I say?
You said Milwaukee.
Well, health is Milwaukee's problem. Minnesota. I think the issue with Minnesota is I just never thought they had proper fluidity. Right? It was very much just Ant, dribble, Ant maybe shoots or passes. I think with the Knicks, I think if you've watched the first 2 preseason games, I think the fluidity is there. Like if you watch, the pick and roll is the best I've seen the Knicks utilize the pick and roll since I think the Lord blessed me to open my eyes. So it's like, for me, I'm kind of just like, I've never seen the Knicks be able to utilize a point guard this good and a big this good. To where now as a defense, do you bite on the point guard and let the big roll? Or do you bite on the big with the idea that the point guard could cut or that the big could pop out? So it just gives Karl Anthony Towns too many opportunities to do something.
Well, it also helps him in that you don't have a player that literally takes away from the offense in Rudy Gobert.
Right. Oh, that is also true, yes.
You also don't have that now.
Not yet.
I was going to say, not until he plays next to Mitchell Robinson. And then we kind of just go, ooh, yikes. Like,
oh, it's back again. Oh, okay.
I like this. Yeah, you got to go to the bench, buddy.
It's nice to have options, that's all.
It is. But I will say, and then I'm going to pass it to Joel because I don't want to be long-winded on this.
Okay.
No, seriously. I will definitely say, the one thing, because I know a lot of people were saying all the toughness and everything you lose of Julius Randle and them not thinking Cat has that toughness. I will remind people, for all the talk of Karl Anthony Towns being absent in the playoffs, Jules hasn't been there in the playoffs. In the 1 year he was god-awful. He was almost not there. So I'm like, we've not really had a big play that great in a little while come postseason. So for me, I don't put all the pressure. I know people here, you traded Julius Randle and Dante for Cat. So now it's like, it's your team, Cat. No. It's Brunson's team, and this team will always go as far as Brunson takes them. Problem last year was Brunson had no help. Excuse me. This should improve that. bringing in Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. Even watching OG Anunoby yesterday, not yesterday, sorry, their last game that they played, OG Anunoby looks even more open. Didn't even think that's possible. Looks even more open. So it should just be a lot easier for him. The grind should be a lot easier for him. There should be a lot of movement, a lot of spacing. It looked great from preseason standards. So I'm excited. Last thing, Joel, before you can take it away. I've already mentally, just so you know, in 2K, replaced Landry Shamet with Marcus Morris. So my mind's already there.
I don't do that because if it doesn't happen, I don't want to disappoint myself. So
it's okay. I love doing it.
That's why I play. There's a reason I play the way. But I did it one time ever. It didn't happen. I swore I never do it again. I'm like, I'll never do that to myself again, ever. And so I never did since then. And we've moved on. It's been how many years now when LeBron decided to go to Miami?
Oh, man.
Yeah, never did that again. I'm like, nope, that jinxed it, and I'll never do that again. It's my fault.
I still say Stephen A. jinxed this, but okay, go ahead.
I'll take the blame for that. That's mine. I got too excited. So New York. So this team is very different, honestly, from like the beginning of last year. We've made a lot of changes. Like I don't think people understand. Like even though I think we have looked good, we're still gelling. Like there's still a lot of like kinks to still work out. Even though I like what I've seen, Cat is still not comfortable yet. At least not offensively.
Right.
He's still figuring out like his spots and his shot and like. I don't even think we've seen the best of him yet in New York, and obviously it's preseason. You shouldn't, but I do expect to see a hell of a duo there because I thought him and Julius played really well together. I don't really know where a lot of that noise is coming from, but I thought together, especially last year when they first got OG, they looked really good.
Yeah,
really really good. So like I think that can emerge again here with Cat because. With Julius out, we saw that OG can take over the 4th spot comfortably. We brought in Mikal Bridges. Now, it hurt like a motherfucker. I think for a lot of us, it hurt probably even a little more to lose DiVincenzo than to lose Julius in that trade.
What a perfect timing for me to change my name.
I hate you, Didge. You know what's so funny? Everyone kept going, the Nova Knicks are over. And I'm like, but we still have Nova Knicks on the team. Like it's not completed.
We still have 3 or 4.
Had the Infinity Gauntlet even without all the stones.
What made it so funny was when obviously being friends with you guys, I remember how loudly you guys were telling me when you guys completed it.
Yeah,
before it end 2 months later, I was like, "Yo!"
But it's different when you don't. If you weren't getting a star back in return, I would be a little like perturbed. Like, what is this? Look, it hurt losing them at the same day. I was not happy. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair. I know.
I was not happy losing Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. I was not. It took a little bit. I had to weed into it. I had to like take a day to think about it. Even though after a while, I got over it. And like Cat has embraced him being from around here helps a lot. So, as he's looked good too. On top of it, so I've already. You have to move on, or else there's no point in dwelling on what the fuck you can do. So. It is what it is. Like it sucks that we don't have the full Nova Knicks team anymore. It lasted a couple months. We didn't even get to see them play together. That sucks.
That was the part that killed me.
Yeah,
like I said, just seeing the hype and then waking up that day, seeing the trade. My first thought, I didn't even care about like who you guys got in return. I was like, damn, Nova Knicks. They were so hyped for it, and it just never happened.
Never got to it.
I tell you what, if you're telling me this is what I get out of it, I'll take it.
I mean, it sucks. It really does. But at the same time, like our team is, I love our starting 5. I really do. And it could probably even get better as of right now.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah, like I don't mind. Our bench obviously it's worrisome, but I do like the guys on our bench, especially when Mitch is healthy. Like I do think.
I don't even think that.
You don't think Mitch is going to help the bench?
No. I don't think our bench is worrisome. I loved what I seen yesterday.
Well, yeah, they played the Hornets and beat them.
No.
Job, guys.
Seeing how they played together and seeing the different pieces you can kind of pick out and put in, I'm like, I love the look of it. I think we got to stop this as if there's like 10 teams in the NBA that have phenomenal benches. Everyone's bench is maybe a guy and then just other pieces. So for me, I'm just like, can Deuce step up? If he can, like he did last year, I feel great. Can Precious do what he did yesterday? I feel great. You know what I'm saying? I love Campaign. Mitchell Robinson is really, because to me it was just like, why? But I do like Campaign. Shout out to Campaign. Because he's willing to die on that court, and I love that.
That Tibbs coach team,
100%. Didge, I watched this man die for a ball like it was the finals on the line, and I say, if you can do that in preseason, I can only imagine what you're willing to crash out for in the regular season.
The man is one of the pests during the season, so that's
right.
One of those guys. So Shamet was in the rotation until last night, unfortunately.
Right, and Shamet has looked really good for our bench. So I like this bench, even if there's no Landry Shamet and we swap it out for whoever it is. I really like it a lot. I even like the idea of maybe seeing if we can't shop Mitch to get a little bit better in our bench, because I like what's his name, that rookie. Yeah. Oh man, did I like what I was seeing from him? Look,
I'll say this about the Knicks this year. For a year where we're as top heavy as we are, as you can see here, we actually did. We had a good fucking draft.
We did.
We had a good, honestly, between Tyler Kolek and Huck Porty and Dadier, who had finally played yesterday. He looked pretty good yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's not even including McCullough Jr., who's coming back from an injury from when he was in college. I think that kid might be good too. So, I'm just surprised. We never draft like this, even when we needed to.
Not this deep.
That's what I mean.
Not this
to draft this well on a year when we didn't need them to draft at all. I'm completely baffled and impressed with the front office and the way they drafted so far.
But they've been trending up. Remember, Emmanuel Quickly, Mitchell Robinson, what's his name that is now in Dallas?
Grimes.
Shit. Yeah, Quentin Grimes. So Knicks has been on a progression of improving their draft as this new regime has come in.
A lot of the guys you saw yesterday were second round picks.
I know, yeah.
That's why I thought it was impressive.
So I'm very high on our bench. Not one of the best benches in the NBA, but I think it can be one of the deepest because I think the way Tibbs coaches these guys. And also remember, with you having Brunson, Bridges, OG, and Cat, how do we play when we play 2K together, Joel? We keep 2 in, take 2 out. Keep 2 in, take 2 out. So you rotate like that. I think your bench shouldn't ever really be a liability.
I mean, he's only playing 9. That's why. So, right. At the end of the day, now without Mitch, you'll have Deuce, Achula, and that's why you got to campaign. And then you need that 9th man is what we're looking for right now. That's all.
Right.
And Sims will play the varying situational.
Yeah, he'll sit in a warm up a lot for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, but I love how this team looks. I'm very excited. That Josh Hart game I got from him the other day is probably more likely to what we're going to get out of Josh Hart a lot this season. No points, a couple assists, and some rebounds. But if Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and Cat do their job alongside Brunson, Josh getting 10 to 15 a game is only the icing on top of the cake. So
they'll figure it out. He has to find his again. The starting 5 is new, so they're gonna have to. He's gonna, especially him, because he's getting the least amount of touches on those 5.
Right, and what makes it even worse is he could get more touches if he were a better shooter. He's not, so it's he can't even sit in the corner.
Right, but he also can't be afraid to shoot it if he's open. Don't be afraid.
I agree. But I think he learned a lot from that Philly series. Yeah. Shoot that thing. Shoot that thing.
He's a garbage man. Just don't stop doing that, and you'll be all right.
Right. Yep. Actually, Didge, you know what it's like to have a player like that. I think you have a Josh Hart on your team.
Who's that?
What's his name? Bobby Portis.
Oh, so
Bobby
like
Portis is like your Swiss Army knife. Like he does everything.
he does, yeah. I like Bobby. I think I like Bobby more than a lot of people do. A lot of Bucks fans feel that he could be hit or miss. So hopefully, Josh Hart is not hit or miss for you guys.
Well, points wise,
unless you guys are playing us.
Points wise, for sure.
Then I hope he's just all miss when you guys are playing us. But
I mean,
any other game,
Bobby was a Knick. Bobby was a Knick before he was a Buck, and we had to let him go because we chose Julius over Bobby. That's what it came.
That is what it came down to. That is. Then he talked shit when he left. It was like, Bobby, don't make me hate you. We loved you. Like, don't do that.
Yeah. It wasn't
don't go to Milwaukee. Okay.
Pay you what he wanted to get paid at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 1 year.
You're the underdog. That's what you.
No, I love Bobby. I'm not saying that.
We love him, but I think Bobby needs to remember when we chose Julius, we got 2 All-Star seasons and 2 All-Pro seasons and a comeback player of the year or some shit like that. No, what was it?
He's a 3-time All-Star.
3-time All-Star. So I'm like, Bobby, we didn't lose sleep, dog. But we love you. We still love you, but we didn't lose sleep.
Yeah. Bobby was doing a double off the bench. So I don't hate on Bobby at all.
No, not at all.
He's basically a 6 man. Yes or no?
I mean,
right?
Yeah, he is our 6th. Yeah, he's gonna.
Not really a question.
He was our 6th last year. I can't see anybody else who would.
Who's taking his spot?
Usurp him.
Yeah, leap over him to be 6. Yeah, like.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Yeah, it's one of those things. I like Bobby. It's nothing against Bobby. But
yeah,
they're different players. They're different. Like Bobby's a big. Bobby, like he's a stretch big, which is one of those rare things.
Well, can you do me a favor? Can you tell Tibbs that Josh isn't? Let him know that Josh isn't a big because he keeps saying Didge. Let me just say this.
Tibbs don't care.
Tibbs has poisoned Josh Hart so much. 2K starts Josh Hart at the 4 and puts OG at the 3. And I'm like, who did this shit, Tibbs?
Tibbs
like,
don't
what
care.
Are you thinking?
Tibbs sees bodies and go, get out there.
100%. 100%.
Maybe you'll get a rest. Maybe you'll rest. Play enough, and then we'll talk.
It's like, Coach, I'm 5'6". Why you got me at the center position? Hustle. It won't matter.
You can jump, can't you?
You want to play? You want to play? You play out of position or you don't play. It's like, all right, well, goddamn. All right, Coach. But no, anyway, I'm really proud of this team. I'm really glad we made the moves we made. They've been trying to make home run plays from behind the scenes for a long time. I think they struck gold on getting OG Anunoby last year. I think they struck gold on getting Mikal Bridges. I think they struck gold on getting Cat. Now, how that all gels together, we got to wait and see. And I think there is no better look at what that feels like than the grind we had to play against Minnesota in the preseason when they were playing their starters almost as long as we did. And then our opening night opponent being the Celtics. I think we'll get a good gauge at where we are our first month in this new season because it's back-to-backs on big opponents for the Knicks to start the season. So I think we'll know. I think we'll get an idea. And then wherever we are, we can think we'll either get a lot better, slightly better, or tremendously better when Mitch comes back. So we'll see how that all rounds out.
I'm hoping.
I don't know. Do you guys really feel that way? Because you guys spent the most of your time talking shit about Mitch.
No. Not shit about Mitch. I want to trade him because he can get us more assets for our bench. But Mitch isn't bad. But Mitch definitely is a younger Rudy Gobert. He will do the same thing for Cat that Rudy Gobert did. For sure.
It didn't sound too positive for Mitch.
Yeah, no. It's not that we look down on Mitch. It's just he's a natural 5. So it's like there's not much spacing the man can do. Right?
Yeah,
so he tends to hover. Right. He tends to hover around the rim. And sometimes that can isolate your big that's trying to get to that spot. It's just like, well, I don't know where to go.
Which is more of an issue for a big like Julius because Julius needs to paint, whereas Cat likes to shoot. So that might help. That might help him. Obviously,
I can tell you right now, Didge. There'll probably be more games than not. Mitch has way more rebounds than Cat. Cat's usually never down there, so it's like
unless Cat's playing primarily the center spot.
Right. Well, then that's different. But alongside Mitch, Cat's just like, well, I don't have to worry about this now. Josh Hart can rebound and suck a bitch.
That's absolutely right. No, remember, Mitch is also like if the best or at least second best offensive rebound in the league.
I'd vie to say the best. Remember, he got injured very early, and I think for like a month and a half to 2 months, he was still leading in offensive rebounds.
Yeah,
because he had that many. Well, I think he's the best.
Well, but Steven Adams didn't play at all, and Steven Adams usually leads the league.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Well, I mean, we'll see what he does in Houston, right?
Yeah, he's the backup in Houston.
Yeah, shit.
Is he healthy now?
He's playing.
I mean, well, shit, he didn't play all of last year, did he?
He should be, yeah.
I was like, goddamn.
Kawhi missed 2 years. Like
Let's be fair.
Kawhi missed 2 years.
Kawhi believes I will not play basketball until I'm healthy enough to play 3 years straight. And it's like, Kawhi, no one's ever. Exactly. Exactly.
Kawhi was so healthy last year, he got hurt for the playoffs.
His body looked around and said, aren't we usually on the couch by now? Yeah, I don't like this. What is going on?
How's this the nickname the Cyborg or whatever? I don't understand that.
Terminator. They named him Terminator. Remember they had the whole Arnold Schwarzenegger commercial with him?
Oh, my God.
I'm like, how the fuck did he get that? I'm like, I ain't never seen the Terminator go, oh, nope, my gears. It's like, no, that bitch don't ever die.
The rustiest Terminator ever.
Yeah, like, goodness gracious. But no, I want to take the time real quick before we get out of here to thank Joel for this putting this pod together. This was fun. I did not think I'd care about other teams. Joel had me looking into players and teams and coaching and schemes and shit, and I definitely don't do that. I watch Knicks, and that is it. So I've now talked some shit about certain players I think will do really well. Like I'm now gonna have to watch Utah games. I haven't spoke too much about Utah. I gotta watch some Utah games. I watched some Brooklyn Net games.
You gotta watch the Nets.
Yeah, I gotta watch the Nets.
Shit.
Yeah, man. I should have just went for better teams. I could just not watch and just say, yeah, see, told you, yeah, they're good. Yeah, see, look. Now I gotta keep up with shit. So, but no, I definitely think it was an eye opener. It was a lot of fun. So I appreciate you, brother.
I love the NBA. Didge?
This was a great time. Thank you guys for having me. Sorry I had to sit here and endure all this Knicks talk. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry to us.
I'm kidding.
Like, this is a group to be sorry
to. This is fun. I haven't sat down, I don't think ever, and really broke down leading into a season like this. So, like Juwaan said, it's the season's going to feel a little different because now you have different rooting interests, and you made certain statements where you're like, well, I need that to come true.
Well, I mean, if you like doing it, I mean, I'm not saying it has to be an every week thing, but like we could do a mid-season thing, like All-Star weekend. We'll have another program where we could go over the All-Stars, we go over stats and all that stuff, and then we'll have a postseason one go heading into the playoffs, and then we can have a postseason like going into the season. We'll have like sporadic ones, not like every week or anything, but we can.
Yeah, mark me down for it. Mark me down.
No, I'm out now. You see that last statement? I'm out. Screw this channel. Screw.
DJV and Jamie are natural Knicks. I don't know what to tell you. Technically, by proxy, Trayvon is a Knicks fan, right? And L'Oreal has no choice but to be a Knicks fan. So it's all Knicks here, dude. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Maybe next time we'll bring on Mike so we can even it out, I guess.
No, that's cool. I ain't gonna be here. I will show. I'm gonna show up with the utmost hate.
Well, anyway.
Every missed shot, I'm gonna bring it up. Every missed rebound.
Hey, hold on. Don't take this out on me and Joel. You keep your beef with DJV. We didn't say that. DJV said that. Now, we're not necessarily saying we disagree, but we did not come out of our mouths and say that or type it. So you hold that up with DJV, okay?
I got no loss.
DJV, your checks in the mail.
I don't have any. I have no hatred for the Bucks like I do other teams in the league. Like, I have no bitterness.
I will also say it helps that I know Didge and Mike, because if not, I very much could find reasons to hate the Bucks.
Yeah,
I very much could.
You see the new name.
That would change completely if it's hating. So if we were to have a playoff season as the Bucks, that would automatically change. But I'm just
100%.
saying, as of now, I've only have beef with the teams I've beefed with since the '90s and recently, and that's about it.
And that's never changed. So yeah,
and it's most of the
day
same
we
teams
die.
for some fucking reason. It just won't go away.
Unfortunately. But guys, tomorrow we will be back with Unhealthy and Unstable, breaking down. Trayvon has not been able to. I haven't even seen today's episode, and I already know we'll be leading off with that. So make sure you guys are ready for that.
He's been quiet,
because it's not over. I'm sure by the end of the episode, y'all done yet? It's like, relax. We'll get in there. But I cannot wait to talk about that yellow dress that happened Sunday. So make sure you guys are here for the breakdown of that. I see you, Didge. But we're going to have a very fun show tomorrow, guys. And who knows? Maybe we'll bring some gaming back this week or this weekend. Who knows? I enjoyed playing the Horde. That was a lot of fun.
It was. It was stressful.
Yeah. It was, but us doing it as a full group, I think would be a lot more fun.
It's just going to be more stress with more people.
No, more people just helps kill more of the zombies that we don't have to get surrounded by.
Stress.
We better hope it ain't like how I think it's the World War Z game where the more people you do, the more zombies they bring in.
Oh my God, Didge, do you have that? Can we play that?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, I'd love to play World War Z. All right, we'll talk about that off air.
Yeah,
but check out, guys. Have your notifications on Twitch for when we start streaming, when we do gaming. Just have your notifications on. I don't want to tell you guys exact dates. Our weekends tend to individually get very busy. So I don't want to tell you guys Saturday and then we don't do it till Tuesday. So I don't know. So just have your notifications on so you don't miss anything. Joel, any closing statements before we give it to Didge for any promo?
No, just thank you for entertaining me for the last 6 weeks. I wanted to do it. I wanted to get it out of my system because I'm going to talk to myself about it for the next 6 weeks. So I was happy that you guys joined. Hopefully next time I can get more people on so they can have their opinions. But
on their separate teams, that would be fun.
I like bringing in fans to the other teams. But look, that was fun. Definitely can't wait to do it again eventually. But
do you know fans for every team?
I know fans for not every team.
Not every team, but a lot of different teams.
More than just Knicks and Bucks. I'll say that.
Yeah, fair. I mean, obviously, I know fans. I
have Laker fans. I know.
Yeah.
Hawk. I have a friend that's a Hawk and Sixer fan. I can't tell you how that works, but it's a thing.
It's
gross. I was just curious. So, I don't know any Utah Jazz fans. Or I don't know any Trailblazers. No, actually, I don't know any Trailblazers.
I can try to talk DJV into becoming a Jazz fan. Maybe.
Yeah, DJV. We'll work on that. Knicks Jazz adjacent. We'll work on that. Yeah. But don't worry, Joel. We'll do it for, like you said. We'll do it for.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for mid-season.
Yeah. We'll plan something for mid-season.
Free playoffs, and just let me know.
And then right before the finals, we'll do the last one where we pick the finals winners, and then we could even do one after. We do an off-season review.
Off-season, the draft or something.
Yeah, we can review the season.
Yeah, and remember we did the draft this year, so we could do it again next year. So.
Oh yeah, and I also love the NBA draft. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm down.
Cool.
Damn, he changed teams and it still fucked the Bucks. He ain't even in the Eastern Conference no more. Damn,
it's hating time. I already don't like the Jazz.
Damn, hold on. The fact that we spent 6 weeks teaching DJV that there's an Eastern and a Western. He still found time to hate the Bucks in a whole nother coast. That's crazy. That's crazy. Didge, is there anything you want to plug or any hate you want to get out to DJV?
Yeah, DJV, boo that guy. No, I'm just kidding. Let me change my name back to Didge so that way you can know how to spell it so you can find me everywhere.
It's hating time.
Don't worry. So you can find me at Didge D everywhere. Didge is not spelled how it's spelled right there. On my personal page, me and Trayvon, I think in the last week, just did a video on Apple and some of their upcoming releases. So definitely take a look out at that. There'll be some more tech stuff on there. Jamie and I have been playing some Steam Next Fest games, so that'll be going up there and also on my Twitch page. And then for some of our more general geeky stuff, look out for Geeks at Podcast. That's where all of that it is. That's about it.
All right. Make sure you guys follow. I was about to say, make sure you guys follow Didge on all of those forums. Me and Joel, you guys know where to follow us. You're here, so if you're not subscribed, please do. Please also share your thoughts on anything we discussed, whether it was on this show or in our usual show. Just let us know. I do want to stress this before we get out of here. Our schedules won't change. So we're going to keep it on Thursday so that we can still successfully talk. Sorry, I was going to say Wanda, Agatha, and Penguin. So once Agatha's over, we will move back to Wednesdays and stay there. I don't know why Marvel put this show out on Wednesdays instead of Thursdays or Fridays, but whatever.
So that way, line up for the 31st to be the last episode.
That makes sense. Yeah,
that's literally the reason.
Yeah, I hate it, but it does.
Fair,
it makes sense.
Fair.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Again, huge thank you to Joel and Didge. Huge thank you to Jamie, Trayvon.
You know what? It doesn't. The 31st isn't even on a Wednesday. It's on a Thursday, so it doesn't make sense.
That's even worse. Yeah, they just do it to be spiteful. It's cool.
Well, they want to be Halloween. They want to do it the day before Halloween.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you assume no one's home Halloween. So
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so it probably is for that then.
Huge thank you to huge thank you to DJV, Jamie, Trayvon, L'Oreal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Didge, Joel. This was great as always. And
DJV, that thanks wasn't for me, just to let you know.
All right, well, you guys have your what was it? Your Seinfeld Newman thing going on. You guys enjoy that.
DJV.
You guys go ahead and enjoy that, and we will see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. For Unhealthy and Unstable. So then, guys, peace.
Damn, my camera down here.